Well, spoilers, spoilers. Oh, sweet spoilers. What's up, guys? I love Hunzo here, and here we are to do a breakdown / spoiler discussion for chapter 268 of Jujutsu Kaisen. I am not actually sure what this one's called. I want to assume it's the decisive battle in the uninhabited universe of Shinjuku part 39, but honestly, based on how this chapter goes, based on what I've seen, what I've gazed upon, what I've witnessed with my own two eyeballs, I don't think that may be the case. But of course, this is a quick spoiler discussion, so let's not waste any more time, and let's hop right into it. Editing me, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. What's up, guys? That guy with a "come here, my pretty" pencil here. Fun fact, I do have been to "come here, my other pretty." Have it on me and keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact, I'm gonna set the 15-minute time limit right now. There we go. Okay, first things first. We open up with Big Kuna. Big Kuna talking to Megami. He looks disappointed, and obviously it's because he's literally losing his body. And notably, Megami doesn't even grace him with a response, which I do think is nice. Once again, Megami finally regaining his own autonomy, finally diving out of the darkness that Sukuna sunk him into, quite literally in terms of the bath, and slaughtering Yorozu, which was Samuki, using the 10 Shadows technique. Megami finally being freed from all that, and ultimately not even honoring Sukuna with a response, based on all the terrible things that Sukuna do. Whoa, this is why you don't record early. Based on all the horrible things Sukuna did to him, Megami not honoring him with a response as Sukuna jabs and jeers and cries out for him to just accept it, go back into the darkness, do all that. He simply looks down and doesn't even look Sukuna in the eyes, not a single one of them. I think it is appropriate. And seeing Sukuna in this pure, almost curse-like form, or I think just legit curse form, is intriguing. And notably, you can see when you break Sukuna down to his purest essence, he's just eyes and mouths. A creature, a being that has nothing but its ability to observe and consume. And ultimately, he can't observe or consume anymore. He doesn't have a body. Not a body that'll listen to him. And it's very likely that if he were to try and hop to anyone else in the general vicinity, he would fail, because who else is there? They're still inside Yuji's domain. So what? Would he try to take over Yuji? No. He's been torn apart, he's been ripped free, and he's been reduced down to nothing. Once again, I have basically no translations. Negative. None. Zero. Zilch. I'm going to record this short live reaction and the long live reaction right back to back. So we're going in completely raw. I have no clue. I just have loose ideas. But with that being the case, we see that interaction was a bit metaphorical, a bit physical, as the real Megami is not being torn away from in the same exact way. In Yuji's domain, what's truly happening is the curse of Sukuna is truly being yanked off of Megami's body. Like, you can see it lets go and it screams for him. It screams for him to take it back or just give in and submit. And ultimately, Megami falls away. Extremely battle damage, but luckily enough, Sukuna did restore a majority of his body. Like, when you think about it, Sukuna getting his full RCT output back actually ended up helping Megami in the long run because, well, he has his full body back. A lot of people, myself included, were kind of thinking that Megami was going to end up with some sort of permanent battle scars, but with Sukuna regaining his RCT output right before the very end, he actually ended up saving Megami. Sure, Megami got a whole bunch of mental and physical trauma, and I'm shocked his brain is still in one piece, but still, ultimately, he managed to make it out just fine. Well, not just fine, but still much better than I expected. And we see him fall away and be reduced to nothing but a speck. Once again, but an eye and a mouth. Nothing left but to observe and consume. And we see the thing that Sukuna never respected. We see the thing that he swore he was going to overcome. We see the thing that Ryomen Sukuna believed wholeheartedly, in the deepest parts of his core, that he was better than Yuji Tadori. With just one eye, looking down upon the king. If you could even call that gross, talking, one-eyed blob a king. And we see that Yuji just looks down and tells Sukuna something, that ultimately, you are me. Just a human being, like all others. And ultimately, Sukuna fades away. Shockingly enough, in the hands of Yuji Tadori. It's a much softer ending than what I was expecting for Sukuna. I'll put that out completely honestly. Of course, last chapter was our big climactic final hit to separate Sukuna and Megami. And I know a lot of people are going to be disappointed in the fact that Curse Sukuna didn't really end up being much of anything, but remember, he was never a curse. Despite what John Weary tried to gaslight us into believing, he was never a curse. He was a human being. He was a sorcerer. So of course, when stripped away from the one thing that allowed him to exist, he doesn't become a cursed spirit. He wasn't slain by non-jujutsu means. He's nothing. The husk of a husk of a husk, and Yuji holds him in hand as he fades away. Not even to a lump of fingers. But we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Once again, how much time do I have left? I have 10 minutes. Okay. But we see as Yuji lets Sukuna go, Sukuna lets out one final pathetic scream. The King of Curses, the strongest sorcerer in history, the strongest sorcerer of all time. He who believed he would stand unrivaled, he who could not understand, but actually that's a lie. He who could understand humanity, could understand Yuji's perspective, but didn't see the value in it and had no emotion stirred in it, ultimately is reduced to a screaming pile of ash. What a shame, Ryomen Sukuna, because it's all your fault. It'd be like that when it be like that, especially when it be like that. However, of course, to continue on, we get to undeniably it's simultaneously my most expected yet most disappointing part of the chapter. And I know the Hikari haters, the Kinji downplay, every single Hikari hater in existence is going to laugh this man to oblivion because he doesn't even beat Urume. Urume offs themselves. I'm not kidding. Legitimately, upon sensing Sukuna's proper defeat inside Yuji's domain, I guess, or maybe Yuji's domain shuts down and they both sense it. Regardless, their whole battle, the rest of it, which was off screen, Urume doesn't even care about. They're done. They find themselves having no value in their life outside of Sukuna, and thusly they freeze themselves and then shatter their own neck. You can see how the ice forms around there and then the crack forms. Done. How do I put it? I'm in the short review. I'm in the short sport. I will go so much more in depth. And I feel a lot of things about this chapter. Once again, the translations are going to help a lot. More thought is going to help a lot. I literally forgot. For some reason, I thought we were on break this week. So I almost went to bed. But I literally saw someone put, I saw 268 was trending. I was like, oh, sweet mother of mercy, before I go to sleep, let me make sure I check. And I checked, and it's all here. So thoughts will exist. It's going to be a very interesting live reaction once I have But let's just say this is the most disappointing thing for me personally. I know a lot of people are happy with it, and a lot of people will be fine with it. And I get it. Here's the thing. I expected it. That's the sad thing. I did expect it after a point. But darn. If you expect to be punched in the mouth, doesn't mean it makes it any more pleasant to be punched in the mouth. But when we see Urume shatters, completely destroying themselves and their vessel. And then we cut far later into the future. Now, one thing I do want to point out, well, I'll wait until we get a better image of Itadori. Megami does seem to have lasting impacts of Sukuna's possession. Interesting ones, though. Like, the marks here kind of look like finger marks, rather than, the tattoos that Sukuna's notorious for. And obviously this one is just, the extra eye that was there, which does make sense. But interesting. Megami doesn't fully heal from these. These are essentially long-term scars. I'll admit, I kind of prefer the fan art scars, but of course I'm going to prefer the fan art scars. I saw Megami having a glass eye because it wasn't properly healed. Because a lot of people were assuming that when Megami was stripped away, since Sukuna's flesh kind of grew over Megami, a lot of people assumed that Meguna, what was left of Meguna before his incarnation, would kind of end up be what Megami was. I kind of prefer that idea, but no, we do have this slightly scarred Megami. And the trio's back together. Itadori Yuji, Noboru Kugisaki, and Megumi Fushiguro. This is good on the front that a lot of people were worried that Noboru would kind of just come back and be just her curse technique, and then we would never hear from her again, and the series would kind of just end. Nope, she's here. She's actually a present part of the narrative, and she's one of our main characters, so she's back in action. So, once again, Gege, slowly, but other than Yuki, and I guess now Arume, going why I oughta against the allegations, so I gotta put respect on their name. But with that being the case, we see that everyone's together again. However, this does raise some questions. Remember, not all of Sukuna's fingers were there. Remember, Sukuna spat out 3 fingers. The curse of Sukuna is dead in the sense of the 16 fingers that were inside Itadori that got transferred over are gone. But, like, there's still those 3 fingers, and there's still the 4th finger that Noboru struck. Why hasn't Yuji eaten them? Once again, I'm assuming he hasn't eaten them because he doesn't have the closed eyes are mentioned. Sukuna is dead, as in, like, his big bad final villain form is dead, but, like, 4 fingers of him still exist. So I'm hoping they address that. Once again, that may be addressed in the translations. That may be a case where, like, Yuji has fully suppressed Sukuna one way or another. I don't know, but I do think it's kind of a weird detail that they just glaze over. Like, Sukuna's not dead, at least not in the traditional sense. And I'm very interested to see what these last 3 chapters are, because, like, clearly the merger's not happening. And in fact, they need to address that too. Megami should still technically have jurisdiction over the merger. And what about the Culling Games? Is that over? Who ended it? Is it still happening? Once again, there are a lot of things left up in the air. And I'm hoping Gege tackles them. Once again, we do have 3 chapters left after this one, so I'm interested, Gege. Let's see what you do. But with it being the case, they're chatting, and they specifically have letters left over from Satoru Gojo. As they bond, they connect, they talk, they chat, and Gojo left 2 letters, apparently. Now, I don't know the contents of this initial letter that Itadori and Noboru read. I have literally no clue, and I can't really read their facial reactions here, and I'm trying to kind of speed along because I only have 4 minutes. But notably, Gege does keep their word from that interview from long, long ago. Megami has a specific letter for him, and it's revealed, finally, by Satoru Gojo. So this, once again, if any Gojo fans were still holding out hope, I'm sorry, you weren't like the Noboru fans. You didn't win in the end. Because technically Gojo does get to tell Megami the reason he doesn't have a dad is because Gojo killed him. That's the last message that Megami gets, and notably it even makes Megami smile. This is like the happiest we've ever seen the character ever, and he does smile happily. Once again, his benefactor, his sensei, is gone, unironically at his own hands, but still, in a way, he left a good memorial, a good memory, and ended up keeping his promise, and Gege kept their promise to us in the most roundabout way, but still, it is done. Let me see, I have 3 minutes. Let me just get to the end. We see they're all walking and talking, and they're going towards something. I have no idea what they're going towards. I think maybe a funeral for maybe the characters who perished. Once again, I don't know. I have literally 0 translations. I don't know what the time frame is. But we see they're chatting, and then we cut to the last page. They're all walking towards something. Notably, Yuda's whereabouts are unknown. Unlike Choso, unlike Kashimo, unlike Higuruma, we don't know what's up with Yuda. I'm sorry. It's taking all my willpower to not scream and violently retch that stupid, disgusting waste of space, this horrid blight upon this near perfect manga. Okay, let me not lie like that. But this really good manga, this thing got to go through the entire Gojo versus Sukuna battle and the entire Shinjuku showdown without making one valid appearance and doing literally anything, and he gets to ride the coattails of everyone else who was still. I despise Panda with every fiber of my being when I tell you. But, that aside, yeah, they're all walking towards something. What it is, I don't know. I'll try to hunt down some translations while this is exporting so I can upload this as quickly as possible. But with that being the case, I like it. I'll admit, once again, this is why if JJK wasn't ending in 3 chapters, I probably would do like a spoiler exclusive or a Patreon and member exclusive reactions for the spoilers too. But once again, this was something that completely bamboozled me. But I like how pathetic Sukuna's exit is. I think it's appropriate. It reminds me of Mahito's. Once again, from the looking down on Sukuna to the pathetic state he's in to being reduced to nothing. Yeah, I think all the callbacks to Mahito are appropriate. And I think that the King of Curses, someone who held himself so high and mighty, someone that the world held so high and mighty, going out in the most pitiful way possible, yeah, that works a whole lot. So I'm fine with Sukuna's defeat in this way. The main thing I don't like, I'll be completely honest, we do skip over a whole bunch. Presumably there's some clarification in the translation, so I'll wait. I'll wait to dock the chapter on this once I get some translations or once the translations come out. I'm not sure if they're just not addressing everything or I'm tweaking, but Suguna should still be alive, so they better address that. The Culling Game should still be a thing, so they better address that. And Megami should still technically have Tengen inside of him, or something should have happened with that. So very, very important stuff needs to be addressed. But once again, I don't have translations, so I won't judge anything on that. The only thing I'm deeply disappointed in, even though I fully expected it, is Ume and Akari not actually getting a fight. I'm going to say this quickly because I have 43 seconds left. It essentially makes the characters useless. You could straight up write those two characters out of the manga wholeheartedly. You can leave Kashimo too. Once again, in the grand scheme of things, you can write the manga without those three characters now. Technically, Kashimo, he forces Megan to incarnate, but anyone could have done that. I'll be completely honest. As much as I try to give Kashimo credit for that, anyone could have done that. Akari is a worthless character. Genuinely. I have no clue. Urume, also by proxy, a worthless character. I have, like, legitimately, I think Gege just made a mistake including them in the narrative. Why get me excited for something if you're not even going to show it? I know it was going to come, but that is the most vitriol. But I am out of time. However, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, please leave Ice Ice Baby. Leave Ice Ice Baby in the comment section down below. I think thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that notification bell so you do not miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also I do happen to have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as low as $1 down month. Things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Some of those perks will include the live reaction to this very chapter, and free variations of all my videos, and if you become a $25 patron or a $25 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also, I do have a link to my Ko-Fi in the description down below. You can drop 5 beans for a short video, 25 beans for a long video, or any beans at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with a Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our $3 members: Zera, Greyhound, Eternal Flame, NMA, Real Rare, Redwolf 4765, Paris Arnold, Astro, and Brandon Payne. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $5 patrons: Zombie Hunter, Sean, Midnight Lord 21, King, Meliodas, Kevin, Encarnacion, Josh Brown, and A+A. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $7 members: Autumn, Mornings, Lazo, and Fine. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $10 members: Robbie Uchiha, Jay Warrior, and AZ Void. And I'd like to give a big old thank you to our $10 patrons: Michael Williamson, Joaquin Munoz, and Idem Okami. And I'd like to give a final gargantuan thank you to our $25 patron, Calvin Elder.